Then it is time for the next lesson. Don't know if I will give these to you guys as two separate lessons or not, but we have two lessons to do. Again, put your name at the top. You will need something to write with, your assignment, scratch paper, writing utensil, name at the top, and let's get started. What is our vocabulary? Oh, no vocabulary this week. This is the start of a new chapter, moving into Lesson 1, Chapter 2. So this is the start of Chapter 2. Real-world link. Some students are collecting money for a local pet shelter. The model shows that they have raised 60% of their $2,000 goal, or $1,200. Fill in the decimal and fractorial equivalents for each of the percents shown in the model. Use the model to write two multiplication sentences that are equivalent to 60% of $2,000 equals 1,200. Okay. So we have percent over here, we have a decimal, we have a fraction. So 80% as a decimal is 0.80. As a fraction, that is 8 out of 10, or if we simplify that, we divide both by 2, we have 4 out of 5. 60% is 0.60. If we write that as a fraction, we have 6 out of 10. Or if we simplify it, 3 out of 4. 40%, 0.40, and 4 out of 10. Or if we divide both by that, by 2, 2 out of 5. 20%, 0.20, or 2 out of 10, or 1/5. Fill in the decimal and fractorial equivalents for each percentage shown. Use the models to write two multiplication sentences that are the equivalent of 60% of 2,000 equals 1,200. So, first one, 2,000 times 0.60 equals 1,200. Next one, 2,000 times, well, since we aren't doing 0, we can't do 0.6 again. What is something that's 0.6 is equivalent to? Well, we can do 6/10 or 3/4 times 3/4 equals 1,200. Find the percentage of a number. To find the percentage of a number, such as 60% of 2,000, you can use either of the following methods. Write the percentage as a fraction and then multiply, or write the percentage as a decimal and then multiply. Number 1. Find 5% of 300. By writing the percent as a fraction. So we need to write 5% as a fraction. So 5%. First, we need to convert it to a decimal. Equals 0.05. 0.05, if we want to convert that to a fraction, well, we have to move this decimal point over 2 to get 5. And since we're moving this decimal point over 0 or over twice to get 5, how many zeros do we need on the bottom? We need 2. 100 over 5. Can we divide both 5 by 100 or 5 by 5 and 100 by 5? Yes, we can. 1 over 20. That is our simplified form. So, now that we have 1 over 20, we have to find 1/20th of 300. So, 300 times 1 over 20. Well, remember, 300 can be rewritten as 300 over 1. So 300 times 1 over 1 times 20. Now, we just solve that equation of, this can be rewritten as 300 divided by 20. Take off the zeros, because that part's easy. 2 goes into 30 15 times. Find 25% of 180 by writing the percentage as a decimal. Okay, so 25% of 180. So 25% as a decimal equals 0.25. Now we take 0.25 times 180. 180 times 0.25. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 1 is 1, or 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. Now remember to bring down the extra 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 1 is 1, plus the 1 is 3. Bring down our 0, bring down our 0. 6 plus 9 is 15. 4 plus 1, or 3 plus 1 is 4. Now we have 2 points on the decimal system over here, so we put that at 2 places, and we have 45.00. That is our answer. A. Find the percentage of each number. 40% becomes, we have to move, so 40% equals 0.40. And you can use whichever of these two techniques you would like to. For this one, I will use, since I am moving the decimal over once, I will call this 4 over 10. And 4 over 10 reduces down to 2 over 5. And I am finding it of 40% of 70. 70 rewritten with a 1 underneath it to make it easy. 2 times 2 over 5 equals 70 times 2 is 140 divided by 5. 1 times 5. 140 divided by 5 is 5 goes into 14 3 times with a remainder of 4, or no, 2 times. Goes in there 2 times with a remainder of 4. 5 goes into 40 8 times. B 15% of 100. 15% equals 0.15. I'll do this one as a decimal. 100 times 0.15. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 0, or first bring down the 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 0, 0, 5, 1, and 2, 15. And C. 55% of 160. 55% equals 0.55. And I'll do this one as a decimal as well. So 160 times 0.55. 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring down the 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times, oh, and I put 3 up there. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8. Down the zeros, bring down the zeros, bring down the 8, bring down the 8, and how many decimal points? 2, so 88. And I've run out of room to do D, so I guess I'll just do it up here. 75% of 280. Well, 75% equals 0.75, and 0.75 in fraction form, I move the decimal over 1, 2, I get 75, and since I moved the decimal over twice, I need 2 zeros down here, 100 over 75. Now, what is 75 over 100? Well, that's, what's the biggest number I can divide both by? 75 is 3 times 25. 25 is 5 times 5. 100 is 2 times 2 times 2. times 5 times 5 times 5. No, wait. Never mind. It's only 2 2s and 2 5s. 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. 10 times 10. We cross out the things they have in common. Blink, blink, blunk, blunk. And we are left with parts they have left over, which is 3 over 4. So, 3/4 of 280. 280 gets rewritten as 280 over 1 over 3 or times 3 over 4. 280 times 3 divided by 4. Um, 280 times 3, I'm putting it into my calculator because I can't do it in my head. 840 divided by 4. Because 840 divided by 4 can be rewritten as then 4 goes into 8 twice, 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 0, 0, 0 times. 210. So sorry, D got a little bit messy there, but let's see if I can find them all. A is 28, B is 15, C is 88, and D is 210. Next page. Using percentages greater than 100. Percentages that are greater than 100 can be rewritten as improper fractions, mixed numbers, or decimals greater than 1. 150% equals 150 over 100 equals 3 over 2 or 1.5 or 1.5. Example number 3. Find 120% of 75 by writing the percentage as a fraction. So 120 equals 1 or 120% equals 1.20. And then we move this decimal point over 1. So we are writing it as 12 over 10. Simplify that down because if we move it over once, we only have 1 0 down here. Now we simplify, and we have, if we divide these into their smallest common factors, 12 is 2. And we are left with a 6. And we break the 6 into a 2 and a 3. So 2 times 3, and 10 is 2 times 5. Cross out what they have in common, take what we're left, and we have 2 times 3 over 5, or 6 over 5. Now we take that 6 over 5 of 75. 75 over 1 times 6 over 5. 75 times 6 divided by 5. Fortunately, we can do a little bit of simplifying before we have to do that. So we can 75 divided by 5 and 5. You can cancel out the 75 and the 5. cancel out that 5. We make this into 5. 5 times what equals 75? 5 times 15. So we keep 15. Cancel out the 5. We have 15 over 1 times 6 over 1. 15 times 6 equals let's see, 15 times 2 equals 30. 30 times 3 equals 90. That is our answer. Find 150% of 28. Okay, so 150 equals 1.50. Rewrite that as, oh, we're keeping it as a decimal. Okay, so 28 times 1.5. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 4, 14. Bring down the 0. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. Add them all up, and we have 0. 4 plus 8 is 12. 2, 3, 4. And how many decimals? There we have 42. That's our answer. Let's see if we can do a couple more. 150% of 20. Okay, we have 150%. That equals 1.50. And 1.50, we move the decimal over once, is 1, or is 15. And since we move the decimal over once, we have 1 0 down here. So we have 10 over 15, which 10 over 15 can be rewritten as, well, we can take a 5 out of both of these, because 15 equals 3 times 5, and 10 equals 2 times 5. Cross out the parts that they have in common. We are left with 3 over 2. And we take that 3 over 2, and 20 over 1 times 3 over 2. Cross out the 2's because 20 equals 2 times 10. 2 is just 2, so we cross out those 2's. We're left with 10 times 3. And 10 times 3 is 30. And yes, there's still those 1's under all of it if we want them, but we don't really need them. But 30. And next up, F. 160% of 35. 160% equals 1.60. I will not change this one into a fraction because I don't think it will make it any easier. So instead I'll just take this and 35 times 1.60. Except for I just realized I can get rid of that 0 and just make it 1.6. That'll make it a little bit easier. because that 0 won't actually change your multiplication table anything because, it's not adding anything. 0 times anything is 0, so it won't contribute. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20, 21. 1 times, or bring it down to 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. 0, 6, 5. And put the decimal back in. 560. Or, sorry, not 560, 56. So E is 30 and F is 56. Next page. Example number 5. Refer to the graph. If 275 students example number 5. Refer to the graph. If 275 students took the survey, how many can be expected to have 3 televisions each in their house? Write the percentage. So 275 students took the survey. How many can be expected to have 3 televisions each in their houses? This is very bizarre. I don't think I've ever. I don't have a television, but I did not realize there was houses with more than like 1 or 2. Okay, so we have 275 people total took the survey, and we're trying to figure out how many can be expected to have 3 televisions each in their house. So how many of them have 3? Well, 23%. So 23% of 75. Whoops, I wrote that backwards. %23 of 75. Or of 275, there we go. So 23% equals 0.23. And it won't get any easier if we turn it into a fraction, I don't think, because 23 is a prime. So 275 times 0.23. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 7 is 21, 22. 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down the 0. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 5 is 0. 14, 15. Bring up 1. 2 times 2 is 4, 5. Bring down the 5. Bring down the 2. 5 plus 6 is 11. And 6. And remember, we've got 2 past the decimal, so we have to put the decimal in. 61.25. Did I do something wrong? Two times 5 is 10. So down 0, put down 0. 3 times 5. Oh, it's 20. 3 times 5 is 15. Up to 1. 3 times 21, 22. Oh, put a 2 up here. I forgot to carry that 2. Okay, so 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 7 is 21, plus the 1 is 22. Put the 2 up there. 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 5, 6. 63.25. There we go. And G. Mr. Sudamak earned a 4% commission on the sale of a hot tub that cost $3,755. How much did he earn? So we're finding 4% of what? 3,755. So 4% equals 0.04. And then we will take this and multiply it by 3,755. And 0.04. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 5 is 20 plus the 2. 4 times 7 is 28 plus the 2 is 30. 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14, 15. 0 times everything is 0, so that's just a bunch of zeros. So we can just bring it down. 0, 2, 0, 5, 1. 2 decimal point places. He earned $150. Number 1. 8% of 50. No, 8% is 0.08. 0.08 times 50. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 5 is 40. 2 zeros. 8% of 40 is 4. Two. 95% of 40. 95% equals 0.95. 0.95 times 40. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 4 is 20. 9 times, I'll bring the 0 down. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 4 is 36. 0, 0, 6, 7, 8. And bring down the 3. And then we do our 2 decimal points. 38. 3. 1/10 of 70. 1/10 is 1.10. 1.10. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 7 is 0. Bring down the extra 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 7 is 7. bring down the extra zeros. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 7 is 7. 0, 0, 7, 7. 2 decimal places, 77. 4. Mr. McKinsey wants to buy a backpack that costs $50. If the tax rate is 6.5%, how much tax will she pay? So we want to find 6.5% of 50. So 6.5% of 50, well, 6.5% is 0.065. 0.065. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times, or bring down the 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 is 30. And then the 0 times everything is just more zeros, so I'm not going to bother with it. 0, 5, 2, 3. And how many zeros, or how many points past the decimal place do we have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What are we left with? $3.25. That is how much tax there is. And maybe I can fit 5 in here. Building on the essential question. Give an example of a real-world situation in which we would find the percentage of a number. Well, we just did one. When you have to calculate tax. You need to do taxes. And let's not forget to write down all of our answers. 8% of 50 is 4. 95% of 40 is 38. 110% of 70 is 77. 6.5% of 50 is $3.25. Okay, and let's see, did I make you guys do the evens or the odds last time? Looks like evens, so this time do the odds. So since last time I made you guys do evens, this time do the odds. And be thankful that you aren't the 8th graders who have 3 lessons that they're doing. And I think that brings us to the end. Once you're done with all your work, please turn it in with your packet, and I look forward to seeing it. And please turn in all of your work as well. So turn in everything that you do. That way, I can see all the work you guys have done. Okay? So turn in everything. And again, be thankful that you are not 8th graders. They've got a bunch.